Hi guys, Tara here. So we can't meet in class, but we can have a virtual class. And I'm lucky enough to have one of our other teachers, Chelsea, here, who might be doing some modified poses during the practice. And we also have one of our students, Jan, joining us today. So we're going to get started in Child's Pose. So you're going to come onto your mat, all fours. You're going to sit those hips to those heels, the forehead down as seen. Now, for some reason that doesn't exactly work, you might have those props, maybe a pillow if not a block to place underneath your hips and either your forehead to find some comfort. So from here, you're just going to start to take some nice deep breaths in through your nose as you inhale. Then we're going to open the mouth for these first few as we exhale. All that air out. Good, let's try that again. Deep breath in through the nose. Feel the belly and the thighs resting on one another. And that big exhale out through the mouth. One more time, deep breath in. Exhale. Now keep breathing. And if you need to keep the mouth open, that's fine. But if not, try to close those lips and we'll start with that Ujjayi Pranayama, or that nice victorious breath. It might sound like the ocean or Darth Vader, but it's really going to start to help heat us up and also help warm up the body from within. So take 3 more of these breaths. Maybe trying to lengthen each one a little bit longer than the last. Last one. Now if your head or forearms are on a prop, you're going to lift up just enough to move them out of the way and walk your hands over to the right side of the room. They may come off the mat. You could place your left hand on your right. You could bring your right hand down by your heel. Whatever feels good as you start to feel a stretch throughout your left side. But just relax that left shoulder down and really try to sink that left hip down to the heel here. Take another deep breath in. Exhale. Inhale, move back through center. Reach a little further to the top of the mat. Let it travel you over to the left as you exhale. Again, sinking that right hip, dropping that right shoulder. Trying to keep the belly button pulling into the spine. Taking one more breath in. Exhaling. As you inhale, coming back to center, we're going to transfer now onto all fours, coming into the box pose. We'll move any props out of the way. Now make sure you really have that stacked alignment, shoulders over the wrists, hips over the knees. And we'll start to find our cat and cows here. As we inhale, opening up our chest, shoulders back. So you like to really arch through the upper back. Try not to press down into the palms too much here. Again, inhale. Exhale. One more, just like that. Inhale. Exhale. As you inhale, come back to center. Walk your hands forward a little farther, and we're going to tuck our toes. Now, before we go into down dog, we're going to hover those knees for a moment, pull your belly in, and start to slide your hips towards your heels. You're in this little crouching position. Breathe, stretch out the arches of those feet. Take one more breath. Good, shift back forward, set your knees down. Now this time, let's give a little love to our wrists, especially if we're working from home. Turn your wrists towards your knees, and if that doesn't work, remember you can always turn them out to the sides of the mat. And then let's just make a few circles here. You'll feel that stretch in the front of the wrist and in the forearms, trying to keep the palms down. And then we're just going to switch that direction. Make sure you keep that breath flowing. Go, take one more breath in. Exhale. Now we're coming back to center. Again, we're going to walk our hands a little farther forward. As we tuck our toes, lift our knees, we're going to slide those hips back, hover, crouch. Really press that mat away. Then start to straighten out your legs for that downward facing dog. Now feel free to do what you like. Some people like to pedal out the feet, maybe gazing right to left. I like to come to the tops of my feet, stretching out my ankles, but everybody's body is different. Make sure those fingers are spread nice and wide. Try not to roll to the edges of the hands here. And again, you're still trying to press that mat away from you. Take one more breath in. Big exhale. Beautiful. As you inhale, rise to your tippy toes. Look between your hands. This first time, take your time as you come all the way up to the top of your mat. We're going to stay low. Separate your feet wide and grab that ragdoll. Let your head hang heavy. Now, a couple of things. We don't want to lock the knees out. Notice how my hips have gone behind my ankles. I want to keep the bend into the knees so my hips are stacked on top of my ankles. And then I want my head long so I'm not scrunching up my neck by looking slightly in front of me. And then as you just sway it out side to side, feel that stretch in the back of the legs. 2 more breaths here. Nice. Last inhale, everyone. Exhale. Now softly release your hands down and toe your feet a little closer or all the way together to touch. If you like, you can use those blocks for that nice halfway lift and lengthen. Again, without walking those knees out. As you exhale, we're going to fold. Inhale, root to rise, reach for the sky, lifting all the way up at the top. Good, let's drop our right arm down and stretch our left arm over. Try not to move the hip or shoulder bit, stay squared as you reach out of your waistline. Inhale, bring yourself back up to center. Exhale, over to the left. You may gaze under your shoulder or down, depending on what feels good. Inhale, back to center. Now we're going to reach behind us, Baddha and grab those hands. Try not to lock your elbows out, but keep a bend as it starts to pull those shoulders back. As you inhale, open your heart. Now bend your knees as you exhale, fold, reaching those arms as far over your head as possible. Let the arms fall out a little closer to the floor. Take one more breath in. Beautiful. Exhale, softly release your hands. Breathe out. We're finding that same halfway lift as we inhale. This time we're going to plank pose as we exhale, planting the palms. Now you can use those blocks if you'd like, or you can even drop down to your knees to modify like Chelsea does if you need. Try to really lengthen the crown of the head forward, belly pulls in. Now we're all going to drop our knees for this first one, and as we shift forward, pull your shoulders back as you bend. We're coming all the way down flat this time. Now, just light through the palms as you lengthen the crown of the head into that low cobra. Really try to squeeze those elbows closer together more. And then as you exhale, tuck your toes. One last time, child's pose. Sit those hips back. Just remember, you can pause anytime you want and take as many child's poses as needed. Just listen to your body. We're going to take it back forward to that downward facing dog with your exhale. Okay, let's take 1 or 2 more of those from the top. Rise to your toes, inhale. Step, float, fly to the top of your mat as you exhale. Take that halfway lift. Exhale, we fold. Root to rise, reach to the sky, inhale. Let's tuck that right arm dropping down as we exhale. Bring it back up to center. Beautiful, over to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, Baddha. Switch that thumb grip if you can. Big heart opener, inhale. Exhale, fold. Let's stretch those arms a little farther over. Tailbone to the sky. Softly release your hands. Take that halfway lift. Your sun salutation A, high to low plank. You can look like those knees, chin and chest, or we can come halfway down. We'll pull our shoulders back, maybe starting to straighten those arms for upward facing dog. And as you exhale, down dog. Good, breathe in. Exhale. Last round to your toes. Top of your mat as you exhale. Good, lift, find space. Exhale, we fold. Rise tall, inhale. Last time for that side stretch, maybe sweeping that right arm in front of the body. Inhale back to center. Exhale over to the left. Beautiful. Reach it back up. Exhale, big fold. Take it down. Halfway lift. Inhale. Your high to low plank, or we'll simply meet in down dog as you exhale. Inhaling, squeeze those shoulder blades together. Exhale, really lift those hips up and back. Now take a breath in. Sink your heels as you exhale. Nice. One more. Breathe in. Exhale. Now, without opening your right hip, lift that right leg to the sky. Lead with the heel here. Try to keep that left heel heavy. And as you exhale, crunch knee to nose. Really round the spine. One more time. Right leg back up high. Exhale, crunch knee to nose. Hold it there. Round, lift it higher. Let's step that right foot through between your hands. Now, if you need your blocks, you could find them, especially if your hands don't make it to the floor. We're going to move back and forth 3 times. We're going to bend the knees as we look forward, open up our heart. As you exhale, we're going to shift the hips back. Again, inhale, bend into that knee. Light weight into those blocks. As you exhale. Last time, inhale. Exhale. Try not to lock this right knee out as you straighten. Now relax your shoulders back. Take one more breath in. Beautiful. Exhale. Now bend back into the right knee, hearts forward. We're going to exhale, step forward into chair pose, bringing our toes to touch. Hands from the block can either come to prayer, tailbone under, or we can always reach those arms farther up. But relax the shoulders. Now sit a little behind you, keeping that heart open. Take an inhale. Good. Forward fold as you exhale. Take that halfway lift. Good. High to low plank, or meaning backing up, downward facing dog as we exhale. Inhaling. Exhaling. Beautiful. Inhale, left heel lifts. Reach it high. Exhale, crunch. Keep your belly button pulled in as you do this. One more time, reach it back high. Exhale, crunch. You're going to hold just for a breath to really round so you can step that foot through. Nice and easy, grabbing those blocks if needed. And again, open that heart on the inhale. Exhale, shift it back. Again, bend into the knee. This left big toe likes to try to come off the mat. Keep pressing down as you straighten out that leg. One more time, bending into the knee. Good. We're going to hold this straight leg. Get not locked out just for 2 breaths. Relax your shoulders. Let your head drop heavy. Last inhale. Exhale. All right, bend into the left knee first. Now with light toes, chair pose as we exhale. Reaching those arms back, loosen a little deeper, this time tailbone under. Belly squeezing in. Take one more big breath in. Beautiful. Forward fold as you exhale. Now options. If you want to play around with that crow pose, you could find that arm balance, or you could meet yourself in down dog. Remember, crow, go slow, looking forward, not down, and as you start to tip those arms forward, if you go slow enough, those feet will just slide off the back of the mat. You'll pull your heart forward. We'll all find our way to down dog as we maybe step, float, fly back to that chaturanga, or down dog when you're ready, exhaling. This time, right leg goes high, breathe in. Exhale, crunch knee to nose, hold. Now move that right knee over the right armpit. Try to get it up as high as you can. Now tick-tock it over to the left. One more time, over to the right. Use those obliques over to the left. Right knee to chest. Can you step it through quietly? Nicely done. Warrior 1. Spin that back heel down flat as we rise. Remember, we can always modify hands to prayer if we need. Now make sure we're not leaning forward too much. We want to keep that nice stacking shoulders over hips. We're going to find that Baddha Hasta. As we draw the knuckles down again, maybe gaze up, maybe really draw those knuckles back and down. As you exhale, fold inside that right leg. Now make sure your head's dropping heavy here. Can we pull our right hip back, but then bend deeper into the right knee? Take an inhale. Exhale. One more, breathe in. Exhale. Now, can we stay low? Can our fingers release? Sweep the mat as we come back up, warrior one. Keep that big bend into the front knee. We're going to step it back to that chair pose slow as we exhale. Now take a breath here. Baddha Hasta, the hands, breathe out. Draw those knuckles down, heart opens. Forward fold. Exhale. Bend your left knee and gaze to the right. You might need to separate the feet a little bit here, but we're going to put the weight into that right foot as we start to open up the hamstring. Taking one more breath in. Exhale. Now we'll bend the right knee, gaze left. Try to take your weight a little forward and then into that left foot as you open up here. One more breath. Exhale. Coming back to center again, releasing those hands down. You can always throw in a crow pose whenever you want, but if not, we're going high to low plank, or we're simply leaning back in that downward facing dog as you're ready. Now for that left side, left leg rises as you inhale. Exhale, crunch knee to nose and hold. Now we're going to move it over to that left tricep as high as you can get it. And then back over to the right. One more time to the left. Good, to the right. Now we step it through quietly. And we rise Virabhadrasana A, warrior one. Now a lot of times we like to collapse that back ankle. So press through the edge of the foot to square that right hip forward. We're finding our Baddha Hasta. Maybe again opposite thumb on top if you can. Heart opens. Now take your right shoulder and square it forward. Then let yourself fold. So you're not opening your hips to the left or right, which we tend to do. Can we square it all back? And then fold in. Take a big breath in. Exhale. Good, another breath in. Exhale. One more. Exhale. Now we're coming up, but we're going to slow. We're going to sweep that mat, get that nice big stretch in that right hip flexor. Back to that chair as we exhale. Take a breath in. Good, interlace those hands, breathe out. Heart opens. Exhale, forward fold. Now softly release your hands. But take your hands and take your feet and move them about hip-width distance apart. If you've got a block or a water bottle, whatever might work, place it underneath your nose. Now try not to rock your weight back. And then inhale, take a halfway lift. Really lengthen your spine. Keep your right hand down. We're going to twist that left arm high to the sky. Now we may need to bend the knee to do this, but try not to drop your hips, keeping them square as you roll your torso open instead. Can you draw your left hip back and roll your left shoulder open one more? That's it, Chance. Take one more breath in. Fold it down, breathe out. We're going to find that nice halfway lift again. We want to start with the straight spine. Left hand down, keep our hips square as our right arm tightens open. Reach the torso, but try not to drop that back hip down. Now can you pull your right hip back as you roll that right shoulder open? Take one more breath in. Forward fold, breathe out. All right, bringing those toes together to touch. Take a nice halfway lift as you inhale. Exhale, we fold. Root to rise, reach to the sky, inhale. Let's swan dive, fold it back down as we exhale. Lift and lengthen, inhale. High to low plank, or finding your own way to down dog as we exhale. Inhaling. Exhaling. Breathe in. Deep breath out. So we're going to go for a little bit of a deeper twist.
Step your feet in just a little bit so you're still in the down dog, but take them out mat width distance apart. Now again, if this is ever not working, this can easily be done on the blocks. You're gonna take that right hand and grab the left leg, wherever it lands, and then play a little peekaboo underneath your left shoulder. Now again, pull that left hip back as you pull yourself under. Some of you like to play around with maybe lifting the foot. So let's hope I don't fall, but the only way that I know how to do this is to slide my foot off the back of the mat, and then someday it might lift, maybe not, and you'll have that one-legged twist. And then you might fall and you'll catch yourself. So when you're ready, you're gonna take one more breath here. Exhale. Beautiful, release, bringing the right hand down. We're just gonna switch, grabbing that right leg. Now you may try for that one-legged. You might decide it's best to keep both feet on the ground right now, and I don't blame you. Take one more breath in. Exhale. Beautiful. All right, release your hands. I want you to keep your hands and feet wide. If you've got those props close, maybe get them out of the way. We're gonna walk or hop to yogi squat. So if you want to play around with a little handstand, it might take you there. Maybe not. Now, if you're like, haven't squatted in years, Tara, I got you. Find that block. Let your chest open, finding that length. This is a wonderful pose for our low back, for our knees and our ankles. So it's a really good pose to do, especially to build up into. So if you can, have it in every day, especially if you're just at home right now. Take another deep breath in. Good, exhale. One more, inhale. Exhale. All right, we're gonna forward fold, plant those palms, and then again release, toe heel your feet together to touch. Take your halfway lift, inhale. We're gonna fold as we exhale. Reach your arms out and up, inhale. Bring those hands to prayer at heart center as you exhale. So we're gonna move into a balance series. So again, you can always use the block beside you, should you need it on whatever level. When you're ready, we're gonna come into knee to chest. So we could start with the knee into our chest. The ankle's gonna be stacked on the knee, foot flex. If we're not quite there yet, I simply start with my right foot on the block or on the floor. Now, careful that you're not leaning back too much, right? You want to stay stacked and have that tailbone tucking under. If you need to make it harder, take your arms up, but don't lose your breath. Take another deep breath in. Exhale. Good, again, get a little taller, breathe in. Big breath out. One more inhale. Good, now as you exhale, we're gonna move back to warrior seat. So again, I can keep my foot on the floor if I need it as a kickstand, or I can find that extension back. Now I don't want this hip to roll open, so I wanna be able to roll my hips down by squeezing my inner thighs together, and then really pressing out through that back heel. Take one more breath in. We're gonna land back in that warrior one breathe out we were in just a moment ago. Now this time we're gonna bring our hands behind our hips, or behind our back, and see if we can't grab opposite elbow. If you love reverse prayer, go for it, but my shoulders aren't having it today. Now when you're ready, we're gonna straighten out this front leg. Again, we're not gonna lock the knee. If we need to bump the back foot in, that's fine. Again, square the right shoulder and hip forward. Then from here, maybe leaning it back, finding that nice big back bend. And then as you exhale, fold into that pyramid pose. Try to keep pulling your left hip back and your shoulders back here. And then lift up halfway, pull your belly in, and see if you can fold just a little bit deeper in. Take an inhale. Exhale. Good. Again, breathe in. Exhale. Last time, inhale. Exhale. Nice, softly release your hands to the floor. Take that halfway lift. Good, exhale, toes to touch top of your mat. Take a halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, we fold. Inhale, reach those arms all the way out now. Exhale, hands to prayer. Okay, we're gonna about that block. We're gonna move to that left side on one-legged tree, or one mountain. So we're gonna pull that left knee in. Try not to sash your hips, right? We wanna keep the hips squared, and again, the tailbone down. We're pulling the belly in so that we can strengthen this low back instead of slouching into it. Take another breath in. Deep breath out. Helps if you find something to focus on. Thanks to Chelsea's backyard, I've got a nice tree right about now that I'm focusing on. But whatever works for you. Take another breath in. Now again, without opening this left hip, we're going to slow transition to warrior three. I try to squeeze my thighs together as I press back. I'm not letting my chest drop too much. And again, that tendency to roll the hip open is there, so still bend your knee. Pull your inner thighs together, pressing out through that back heel. Take one more breath in. Now without a bounce, can you land lightly into that warrior one? Nicely done, you guys. Now we're going to straighten out that leg again. Again, if you want to shorten your stance, go for it. As you reach back, grabbing that opposite elbow or reverse prayer. Square the shoulders and the hips. From here, take an inhale, open up your heart. And then as you exhale, again, fold. Again, notice your right big toe mound. And you want to roll to the edge of the foot. Press the inner arch, the inner heel, and that big toe mound down. And then see if you can draw the arch of the foot up and pull the right hip back. Now lift halfway off your thigh, belly in. Can you fold in 1 inch deeper? Take an inhale. Exhale. Softly release those hands down. Take your halfway lift, inhale. Good, allowing those toes together to touch. Exhale. Take your halfway lift. Good, exhale, fold. Now we're going to go through that same thing, but we're going to change it up. Can you, the moment you lift your hands off the floor, take your right knee to your chest with you? It's a little Tai Chi. As you inhale straight from the ground up, making this a little more challenging. See? Beautiful. When you're ready, warrior C, fly. Maybe those arms are reaching forward. You're lengthening, you're reaching. Warrior one, lightly breathe in. Inhale. Good, straighten out the legs, exhale. Keep those arms up, reach your heart up. Good, exhale, fold again. We're going to touch the front of the room, letting those hands come down. Let your head drop heavy. Shoulders back, left hip back. Breathe in. Exhale. Now this time, inhale, lift up halfway, lengthen. And then go ahead and bring that right leg high to the sky, standing splits. Keep squeezing your thighs together. Now feel free to stay here or play around. Maybe plant the palms. Maybe lift that top back heel. Maybe a little bend. Maybe a little hop. You're at home, so if you handstand, no one will ever know. Taking 2 more breaths wherever you are. Awesome. Nice variation with the sugar cane Chelsea has in the last breath. Toes touch, breathe out. Find your halfway lift. Fold. Now let's even up that left side. Same time, root to rise. Left knee comes with you. Find that balance. It's okay to be shaky. It's okay to fall. Just get right back in it. Warrior C. Here we go. Keep your belly. Try not to collapse through the chest. All right, warrior one. Lightly step it back. Inhale, straighten out that right leg. Exhale, find that space. As we fold, pulling those hips back. Relaxing your shoulders. Take an inhale. Exhale. Lift up halfway, prepare the spine without launching, standing splits, left leg high. Again, options, whatever you tried on that left side, we're trying here, or we're just holding, working the stretch in the back of our right leg. Maybe you probably have balance on this one. Take one more breath in. Good, toes to touch. Breathe out. Now one more time, separate the feet wide. If you can't pick up your feet, slide your hands underneath. If your toes can get to your wrist crease, let them wiggle and give them a little massage. But again, draw your head, pull your belly in as you relax those shoulders away from your ears. 3 more breaths. Good, 2 more inhale. Last one. All right, see if you can at the same time lift those feet up, free those palms, and then we'll toe heel the feet together to touch. Now take that nice halfway lift. Exhale, we fold. All the way, root to rise, maybe a nice stretch up and back at the top. Swan dive, big fold down. Take that halfway lift, inhale. High to low plank or down dog as you exhale. Inhaling. Exhaling. Good, take a breath in. Exhale. Okay, we're gonna take that right leg high. So we're gonna go into a stretch now. As you exhale, we're gonna shift forward right knee to that right tricep. See if you can hold it there. And before we stretch, could you drag that right knee down to the wrist and then pull it right back up. One more time because we think it's fun. All the way down, all the way up. Now move it across, so we're coming into our pigeon pose. Now we have quite a few options. One is to find one of those props, especially if our hips don't come down, and rest our glute on it. But if this is ever going to be too much pressure on our hip, our knee, or our ankle, we can come into seated figure four or on our back figure four, such as Chelsea here. Now you can stay up in pigeon, opening up the chest, finding a nice back bend. There's also the variation where you can come down. And again, you could have those blocks or props to support you. Again, if you don't make it quite to the floor. Now try not to sit to your right side. You want to keep that left hip rolling to that right heel. And if you can, you might even tuck your back toes, lift your knee, and let it pull you a little farther back, giving you that deeper stretch out. So this pose is so important for our bodies, especially right now in a lot of unknowns, that tension is creeping in. So try to really open up and see if you can't soften with that breath. Inhaling, exhaling. Now there's a couple of places you can go. If you'd like to stay here, feel free. If you'd like to come up into that maybe mermaid or work towards your king pigeon, maybe having to slide that block, you'll have to sit a little off to your side if you do want to go for that mermaid variation, which might be reaching back for that foot, maybe bringing it in closer, maybe even sliding it into the crook of the elbow as you start to square back forward. You can always keep that arm up, and if you can grab, you can always find that nice back bend. But we don't have to go here. This is a wonderful place to stay. We're here for 2 more breaths as you inhale. Exhaling. Beautiful. 1 more. Exhale. So can you come out the way you came in? You have options, but as you start to take that leg, can you lift it all the way up into your chest? Then bring it back. Feel free to move that leg around, bend the knee, make circles. If you like to flip your dog, try to flip lightly so that you don't jam into your low back as you maybe flip your dog, opening up your chest. Good, we're taking 1 more breath here. And we're all gonna meet back in that down dog as we exhale. So we're just gonna move straight to that left side. Inhale, left leg's gonna go high. First, we're gonna get a little bit of that last oblique because we take it over to the left tricep, hold. We're gonna slide it down and pull it right back up. 1 more time, slide it down, pull it back up. We're gonna open up that left foot to the right wrist and set it down. Now again, listen to your body. Just because the right side was one way doesn't mean the left will be either. So maybe you need to modify, maybe you need to add on or take away this pose, but give it the same attention as you give the right. Trying to take that judgment out of it side to side. So you're taking just a few more breaths here. And if you want to settle in, just try not to sit onto your left hip. Give me that squareness, maybe pulling that foot back, going even a little deeper. Different variations with the arms, could be out in front, to the sides, whatever finds some space for you to breathe. Beautiful breath, just a few more. Open this left side. Starting to let that tension melt. Now, if you tried something on the right, remember we want to try the same on the left. So the last few breaths, maybe you're going for that mermaid or that king pigeon variation, whatever you have, finding that same if possible. Breathing here. Exhale. Remember, you can always use a strap if you want to try to catch that back foot. But again, doesn't have to happen. Now, when you're ready, you're going to come back out of it again. You're going to try to pull that left knee into the armpit, working that same oblique. And then again, we're finding those circles. We might find that flip. We might bend both knees or keep that right leg straight. Completely up to you. Taking one more breath in. Exhale. So we're meeting back in down dog. So we're about done. So we're going to take just one or two more things before we come in and stretch. So we'll try this without moving your hands. You're going to set that right forearm down. And then see if you can set your left forearm down. Dolphin. Now, back to down dog. Can you straighten just your right arm first? And then your left arm. Let's try left side. Left forearm down, followed by right. Left arm straight, followed by right. So you're more than welcome to do one at a time. If not, can you give me both elbows bent and set them down at the same time? Tricep push up, and then straighten those elbows. Let's try 2 more times. Bend. Good. Straighten. Last time. Bend. Beautiful. Straighten. Now we're going to bend those elbows and just stay. We're going to hold here. Walk your feet in just a little closer for your dolphin. Hold here. Open your heart. Now again, this is in the privacy of your own home, so if you try your headstand or your forearm stand, go for it. And if not, we're going to take one more breath here. And then we're going to rest child's pose. Maybe you bring those hands by the heels, a little up to the shoulders. Maybe you open and close the fist as well. Two more breaths here. Last breath. Exhale. So we're going to tuck our chin and just roll up really slowly all the way to seated. And then we're just going to sit to the side of our mat and come onto our backs. Now again, you might want to keep those blocks close by, but come down with a little bit of core awareness, keeping those feet to the floor. Belly pulls in. You're really trying to control it, but even that last little bit. Awesome. And then once you come down, we're going to move into our bridge pose. Just know at any time, if you want to slide the block underneath your hips and stay, it's a wonderful way to rest. So we're going to plant the feet. Now you can either grab the edges of the mat or your hands can go by your hips. Try not to let your knees and feet buckle out here. As we go, we're going to press down and tilt just the pelvic floor, so only my glutes have lifted. And now as I exhale, I'm going to lift those hips up high in the sky. Bridge pose. Now it's important that I don't look around. I want to stay straight up. And if I want, I can tuck my shoulder blades under, but I'm keeping that natural curvature underneath the neck and my spine. And then I might lift my hips up higher. I might interlace my hands, but I want to press firmly down to lift up. Not letting my chin tuck, but just bringing my chest towards my chin. Can you lift up 2 more inches? Take a big breath in. Now we're going to come down slow. So again, maybe release your hands and then articulate the spine 1 vertebra at a time, all the way down, slow and controlled. We're just going to rest, walking those feet out and letting those knees drop. Maybe 1 hand to heart, 1 hand to belly here. And then just find your breath for a moment. Find that energy moving through you. Take 1 more inhale. Exhale. Now just reach your arms out wide like a T. Take your knees wide apart and then just gently windshield wiper them side to side. So this is a wonderful thing to do morning and evening when you're at home in bed. It helps open up those hips, our low back. We're going to take 1 more breath here. And then as we drop those knees over to the left, we're going to hold. We're going to start to gaze to our right, just taking a nice twist, making sure that shoulder is down. If you wanted a little more, that left ankle can go to right thigh, but we don't have to. Find this right lung, breathe into it. Take one more breath in. Exhale. Gently release the left ankle. Keep those feet wide. Eyes and knees to center. Then we're going to drop to the right. Gaze left. Get an option to stay or add ankle and thigh. Again, we're not placing it on the knee, but more to the side so that we don't press laterally on the kneecap. Take another deep breath in. Big exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Release that right ankle, and then just slowly coming back to center. When you're ready, just starting to straighten up your legs. So find your Shavasana. Now, you have props maybe around you. If you wanted to use them, you can. But at any time, just finding some place to get comfortable, maybe hands to heart, to belly, and just resting here. Softening your jaw, relaxing your eyelashes and your eyebrows. And we rest. We soften. Now remembering that you're at home, you can stay as long as you'd like. And slowly just coming back into your body with the breath first. Maybe just a gentle rock of your head side to side. Then maybe fingers or toes wiggle. You might roll out your wrist to your ankles. Maybe it's a stretch. Maybe it's knees to chest to your favorite side, but whatever feels good to you, just taking 1 or 2 more moments on your mat. But remember, you can really take as long as you like. No one will know. And then when you're ready, with our eyes softly closed down, we're going to take our time as we make our way back up to seated. No rush. Whatever comfortable seated pose that is for you. Each one of us is different. So as we sit up really tall, just being thankful for the ability to connect, even if it's not necessarily in person, and also more importantly, to really learn and keep moving our body amidst these unknowing and uncertain times. So as we inhale, reach those arms out and up, sit up a little taller. Keep that heart open, full of gratitude for this last hour as we seal our hands to prayer at our own heart center. Hopefully we will see you soon in our hearts and our minds. We bring our palms to our third eye center, and as we bow to you, we say, Namaste.